This is part 11 of the greatest mini survival tin ever created. So I'm going to do 3 things in this video. First of all, I'm going to show you firsthand why I'm not including things like band-aids, medicine, and matches. Secondly, I have an upgrade to my kit that I'm really excited about, and I'm going to tell you about what I'm adding to this kit. Because I did think better of it, and I thought, you know what, there are certain items that are really cheap, but they might be hard for some people to come by. So I'm excited I'm going to be adding a new item to my kit. And third of all, and I know probably a lot of you have been wondering this, I've already shown you what things cost on websites like REI, Amazon, Walmart, what it would cost you to make something comparable to this kit. But I bet a lot of you have seen some of my other videos and you're like, I bet she just bought it all on TEMU and she's jacking the price up. So today we're going to see what it would cost if you made the same kit based on comparable or semi-comparable items that you can find on TEMU. So that's what we're going to cover today. So first of all, let's get into why it is that I'm not including band-aids, medicine, and matches. And I've said this before, but I'm going to show you firsthand exactly what I'm talking about. Like, for instance, I did mention before that a thing like a sewing kit, you can literally get a sewing kit for free. And I've told you how. All you have to do is the next time you go to a hotel, go to the front desk and tell them that you need a sewing kit. And they will literally hand you a sewing kit for free, okay? So I'm not going to include a sewing kit in my kit because you can get one for free. Now, this is the problem that I have with most survival tins, is that they include all these little various and sundry penny items like matches, band-aids, sewing kits, fish hooks, things like that for pennies. They cost literally pennies. They cost you pennies and or are so inconsequential in price that they're almost practically free. Imagine what it costs a factory. It costs them like even less, but yet they charge you $50 for a survival tin and it's mostly paper. So that's why when I was curating items for my tin, I wanted every item in it to be reusable and something that was quality enough without being super duper expensive. And a lot of these items you could use every day. Like I've told you before, you could use that cup every day at work, at your desk. You could use the knife every day if you need to use it to open mail or do whatever other little cutting tasks, things like that. So everything, there's no waste in my survival kit. So I've already explained that. But let's look at this, okay? Because some of you, maybe you don't believe me, that Band-Aids are super duper cheap. Look at this. What I need you to do is to go to your nearest Dollar General. And I know there's a Dollar General near you because there's Dollar Generals like within a mile radius of each other. They're everywhere. And when I say Dollar General, I'm talking about Dollar General. I'm talking about the DG boutique, okay? I'm not talking about Dollar Tree because Dollar Tree is at least $1.25. I'm talking about Dollar General. All of them have a dollar aisle. So you just go to the dollar aisle. And look at this. You can get a family pack of Band-Aids, 80 of them, for $1. So you could include one of each size in this family pack, and that will literally cost you 4 cents. And then you can keep the rest of the Band-Aids in your medicine supply cabinet or your bug out bag or your car trunk or something. So again, that's why. And Band-Aids tend to dry out over time. I mean, it does take like 10 years for them to dry out. But they do expire. Even more so are medicines. Medicines expire. And look at this. You can go to the same dollar rack and buy cough medicine, allergy relief. We're going to come back to that one. You can buy nighttime sleep aid. You can buy brand name Advil. You can buy Alka-Seltzer Plus. All of these things are on the dollar rack, and all of these things expire. So that's why I'm not including them in my survival kit, because they cost pennies. And if you just go to the dollar rack yourself, you can get them for pennies and they will not be expired. Whereas if I include them in my kit and they sit on my shelf for a year, that's a whole year of expiration that the medicines have gone through. Look at this. This is like the number one rip-off survival tin item is matches. Everyone acts like matches are such a big deal to have in a survival kit, and they are, especially if you don't know how to use a ferro rod or a Fresnel lens. Those can be a little bit daunting, and matches are a no-brainer. Everyone knows how to use them. But look, this is why I'm not including them in my tin, because 3 matches cost 1 penny. Just go to the dollar rack, buy a box of 300 matches for $1, put a few of them in your own survival tin, and then you have them and they're ready for you. And like, this is what's crazy is survival tin makers, they'll charge you like $50 for a survival tin. If 3 matches cost you, the consumer, 1 penny, imagine what it costs a survival tin factory maker supplier. It costs them nothing, but yet they'll jack up the price $5 if they include 5 matches. You know? So it's a ripoff, and I'm not here to rip you off. I'm here to give you items that you can use, and then you can buy these little penny items yourself and put them in as you need them. Because, you know, not everybody wants Advil. Some people like aspirin. So just find $1 aspirin and put that in. Find $1 Tylenol and put that in. Ibuprofen, something like that, okay? So there, I've made my point. Now, here's my announcement of an upgrade that I did think better of, and I will now be including in my kit. And that thing is fish hooks. Okay, because I do supply you the ability to make your own fish hooks, but I realize that in an emergency, not everybody is ready. Not everybody just comes equipped with bushcraft skills. So I thought better of it, and I will now be including 2 fish hooks in every kit. The sizes will vary, but you see I have them taped to that clear plastic strip that I include in the kit. So you will be getting 2 fish hooks in every kit because, you know, again, I realize not everybody knows how to make them. And this is a very important item to have, especially if you're near a river or a lake. So there you go. I'm going to be including that. All right. Third thing I want to discuss is what would this all cost if you went to TEMU and bought comparable items. So you can already see the total there at the bottom is $38.34. Can you see that? $38.34. All right, so let's go through each item. First of all, this is the cheapest amount, the cheapest that you'll have to pay that, okay, let me clarify this. At the time of my making this video, this is the price of the items. So one thing to know about TEMU before I even get started is the fact that prices fluctuate on TEMU. They are almost always more inexpensive than any other website, but the disadvantage, there's 3 disadvantages. First of all, the prices fluctuate. Second of all, they sell out of items really quickly. And third of all, it takes 9 or 10 days to receive your package. And sometimes items, whenever you get them, they're broken or they don't work. So then you have to reorder them. Like, I do have to say, TEMU's really good at refunding. If something's broken, they will refund you. If you prove that it's broken or it doesn't work, they'll refund you. But then you have to reorder it, and you have to spend at least $15 to get free shipping. And then you have to wait another 9 or 10 days to get the item. So already there's an advantage to buying one of my kits because I've already put it all together, you know? But anyway, I did want to share this in case you want to make your own. So the cheapest fish hooks that I could find that will give you comparable is a 50 pack for 77 cents. So that is very inexpensive. But I realize too, like if you live in an urban area, you're probably going to have to order fish hooks. That's why I'm adding fish hooks to my kit. Because if I live in a rural area, it's really easy for me to just go down to the corner store and buy fish hooks. But I realize not everybody lives in a rural area. Most people live in cities. And, where not everybody has a Bass Pro Shop down the road. So yeah, that's why I'm including fish hooks. But if you wanted to order them, this is the cheapest amount. It is nice that you get 50 of them for 77 cents, but that is the cheapest price and the smallest amount that you can find on TEMU. That's what you're going to have to spend in order to get fish hooks. All right. Now, next is the cheapest mirror that can fit inside the kit. Okay, so this took a little bit of looking on my part to find something comparable to what I give you. The inside diameter of the tin, the tin cup, is just under 2.5 inches. You can see here the diameter of this mirror is 2.17. So this is the cheapest mirror that will fit inside the kit. You do have to cut off the handle, which you could probably do with a pair of scissors or maybe a hammer, but you're gonna have to get the handle off, but it will fit inside the tin if you do that. So $1, that's $1.04, that's pretty cheap. Okay, now copper wire. This is 24 gauge. This is the same gauge that I include. I include 2 feet of pure copper wire. This is 32 feet for just under $3.50. So that's a pretty good deal. However, I do have to say that sometimes they say it's 99.9% pure copper, and then you get it and you cut it in half and you see that the core is actually stainless steel or something. So I can't vouch that this is pure copper. I'm just going based on what they're telling me that it's pure copper. So I can't vouch for that. I can vouch for my kit. I know for a fact that I include pure copper wire, but I only include 2 feet of it, whereas you could get 32 feet for $3.50. So that's a risk. You'll have to risk it if that's important to you. And remember, I think copper is a worthwhile metal to have as opposed to stainless steel or zinc or something like that, because copper's, at least in my experience, copper is the best thing to apply to wasp or bee stings. I'm highly allergic to wasp and bee stings, and people always say, oh, put baking soda on it. Oh, put this something here, it'll draw it out. None of those things ever have worked, but copper, pure copper, when I put that on a sting, the pain goes away in a matter of hours. So I swear by copper, and that's why I include it in my kit. All right, next item is I think about an inch, maybe a little more than an inch diameter, an double-sided adhesive circle. So the most comparable item that TEMU has, for 40 cents, you can buy a whole roll of double-sided adhesive dots. If I were making this kit based on things at TEMU, I would cut 4 of those dots off and put that in my kit, and that will be comparable to what I give you in my kit. Now, I searched all over TEMU. They don't have any fiberglass whatsoever. And if you know about the tinder that I include in my kit, I include a section of fiberglass rope. And the reason it's reusable tinder is because fiberglass doesn't burn. You do have to include something like hand sanitizer or something else that's alcohol-based, at least 60% alcohol-based. Or like a lamp oil. You can also douse the fiberglass tinder with oil. Something that's ignitable. But what makes my tinder reusable is the fact that fiberglass doesn't burn up. And it's really nice because whenever you ignite it, it burns really hot, really fast. And it burns for about 10 minutes at least. So anyway, TEMU doesn't have anything like that. The most comparable item they have is this 10-piece little sections of tinder rope. These are not reusable. So I would include 2 of them in my kit if I were making one based on these items. You can light it like a match like this, or you can fluff it out in a ball like that. I don't know how fast it burns, and I'm assuming it's going to burn a lot faster than my reusable tinder. But, if you put 2 of them, at least maybe you'll have I don't know, 5 minutes of flame that you can use to catch other things on fire. So anyway, that's that. That's the cheapest option I found. Now the knife, I'm really not happy about this knife compared to mine, but this is the cheapest option for a knife that's at least small enough to go inside the tin. You can see it's 2.32 inches when it's closed. Now, there's a lot of disadvantages to this one and advantages to my knife. First of all, my knife locks, okay? So that's a really big deal in a survival situation because you don't want the blade to close back onto your fingers. So having a locking blade is really important. Second of all, my blade is half serrated. So if you know anything about serrated edges, it's a lot easier to cut like rope. It's easier to cut certain woods with a serrated blade versus a flat blade like this. But that is the cheapest option I could find on TEMU. Oh, one other thing is the blade that I give you is surgical steel. This says it's stainless steel, but again, I can't vouch for that. And I also don't know how thick it is because they don't really show you the side edge of it. But this is the cheapest option of a blade that will fit inside a survival tin. So that's why I have it in my list. All right, next, and this might be the option, this might be something that you leave out. Maybe you don't think linen is a big deal, but I do think that linen is a very important fabric, and especially in a survival situation, for the reasons that I've stated, linen is a healing fabric, number one. But, you know, I've told you ad nauseum the uses for the piece of linen that I include in my kit. This might be the item that you leave out, I don't know. But, and here's another thing. A lot of these Chinese websites, when you search for something that's linen and then you receive it, on the tag it'll often say that it's cotton linen, which just means that it's 100% cotton, but it's woven to look like linen. Like linen, 100% linen is really important to me, and that's why I'm including it in my kit. This is the cheapest thing that I could find on TEMU that at least said it was 100% linen. I don't know if you get it, if it's going to say cotton. I can't vouch for that. I'm just going based on what I was able to find and what they say. They say that this one's 100% French linen. So I'm going based on what they say. That's the cheapest option is a pillowcase for $11. All right, next. This is the same light that I include in my kit. It has all the same functions, and you can add it to the elastic and make a headlamp. It's exactly the same. It's $1.79. Now here's an example of how the prices fluctuate, because when I added this to the kit, or added this to my cart yesterday, it was $1.44. So it's already gone up like 35 cents. So that's what I mean by fluctuation. Now you'll see in the cart, I added 3 for the quantity. Now the reason I'm doing that is because I've ordered enough of these little lights. I love these little lights so much, so I ordered a ton of them. And I have to say that whenever you order them, about half of them don't work right out of the box. Now, you don't need to worry about my kit because I test all of them and make sure that I'm sending you one that works. But about 50% of the time, maybe 33% of the time, these little headlamps don't work. Like they don't even charge. They won't turn on. I don't know what it is. I guess they don't quality control them or something whenever they make them in the factory. I will quality control mine before I send them to you. So you have that guarantee at least. But if I was going to order these, because it takes 9 or 10 days to receive the package, I would go ahead and order 2 or 3 of them to make sure I got at least one that worked. And they're relatively inexpensive. $1.79 is still pretty cheap in the grand scheme of things compared to headlamps that you get anywhere else. And the fact that you have all those functions like emergency vehicle lights and things like that, you don't have that on a normal headlamp. So that's what I really like about this one. And it's super duper lightweight, really useful. Anyway, I would order 2 or 3 of them. Then this is the folding cup, 8 ounces, just over 8 ounces folding cup. And you know, if you've watched my past videos, that other websites have the same item, but you're looking at least $10. So $4.94, that's a good price for that on TEMU. Next is a Mylar blanket. This is $1.16. That's really cheap. And I do think a Mylar blanket is really important. So much so that I wasn't going to include it originally, but then I thought, you know what? If you're really in an emergency situation, this is going to be like a matter of life or death, whether or not you have a Mylar blanket in some situations. Especially if it's raining. I mean, maybe that's not life or death, but it'll keep rain off you. You know how hard it is to bushcraft a shelter that's waterproof? It's almost impossible, especially to get done in a matter of hours. It takes a long time to waterproof a shelter. So that's why I'm including a Mylar blanket. But if you want one, that's going to be like $1 on TEMU. All right, then cord lock. And you know that cord locks, from my prior video, I explained that it's part of the thing that, it's part of the system that secures the whole kit together. But also there's other uses for the cord lock. And I've explained all of those. But you can get 10 of them. This is the cheapest option I could find, was 10 pieces for just under $1. So then you'll have extra, I guess. Same thing with the Fresnel lens. This is the cheapest option, 10 pieces at under $2. So it's kind of annoying that you get 10 of them, but these are really useful. Like, I even have one in my wallet. I have one in my phone case, just in case I need it. You can keep them in your car. You can give them to your friends. So there's things you can do with the other 9 Fresnel lenses besides just putting one in your kit. Then next thing is headband. So the elastic headband, it's $1.69 for one of those. All you have to do is cut it in one place so that you can attach it to the outside of your kit and hold the whole thing together. And then last item is the camo paracord bracelet. And if you go to TEMU, $1.34, that's the cheapest I could find. You do have a variety of camo styles to choose from, so that's nice. To me, this is probably the most important survival item. I never go hiking without one, simply because it's so useful, and especially in an emergency. You know, it's 3.8 yards of 7-core paracord. So you can use that for fishing line. You can use it to secure a shelter. You can use it for all kind of different things. Plus the latch of the bracelet has the compass, it has a whistle, and it also has a ferro rod, which is really important to be able to start a fire in an emergency situation. So even if you lose the rest of your kit, you at least have something that's going to help you make a fire and to somewhat make a shelter. So anyway, I am a big fan of those bracelets. That's why I have one in my kit. All right, so thank you for watching. So again, you see that this kit on TEMU right now, as of the making of this video, it's $38.34. And my kit, maybe sometime it will be a little more than that. It might be a little less. But keep in mind too that I'm not a company. I'm just one person. And also on eBay, I have to take a cut from eBay, and I have to, shipping is included, so I have to pay for shipping and things like that. Plus the advantage of buying through me is that my items are either exactly the same or slightly better. Like, I can't vouch that TEMU is going to give you copper or linen, but I can vouch for you that I'm giving you copper and linen. My tinder is reusable, whereas theirs is usable. You use it and it's gone. My knife is way better than this one. So, there's advantages to getting mine. Plus the fact that I've already made it and you don't have to make it yourself. But again, I'm just showing you, if you wanted to make one yourself, what it would cost if you go to these different websites. Because maybe you don't like my kit. Maybe there's something you would totally leave out and put something else in. So I'm showing you how you can procure similar items. But I'm also telling you that I have these available if you want one. So anyways, just look at the link in the copy. I have the eBay site there. So anyways, thanks for watching, and please stay safe out there.